Hello everyone, this is Gabriel from Untitled here, and today we are going to do a pick a card reading on what are the major changes coming for you in the next 6 months. So this is a really timeless pick a card reading. Even though I am publishing this video in late October to early November 2020, it doesn't mean that it's only valid for the next 6 months from that point. This is a timeless pick a card reading, and it will be valid for you, at any point in time you decide to chance upon or even look at this video. So today's pick a card reading will be slightly different from usual, mainly because I will be using some astrological techniques. I will be using a unique card spread, which I sort of devised and sort of figured it out on my own, which is the 12 houses card spread. I will not be going through all the 12 houses, but I will be laying them out and connecting them and using them somewhat. I know that I'm probably not able to explain this in a very succinct and perfect manner, but you will see, okay? So don't worry about it, you're in good hands. Alright, so if you're ready, let's go to the card selection portion. We are now at the card selection portion of the pick a card reading, and as you can see, there are 5 crystals laying out in a straight line. So we're going to exclude the amber piece over here. We are just going to look at the 5 over here. And as you can tell, the cards have not been laid because I will lay the cards out later when we move into the individual reading. So there are 5 pieces of crystals in front of you, so all you need to do right now is to take a few deep breaths and just decide which one are you aligned to. Is it the red tiger's eye, or what we call a bullseye? Is it the Sodalite? Is it the Shiva Lingam? Is it the black Tourmaline? Or is it the rose quartz? So just close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, and just calm yourself down, tune in and ask your higher self, ask your guides, ask God, or even any religious figures that you pray to, or any divine energy that you work with. Ask them for a sign, ask them which crystal you should pick. And if you don't do any of those things, if you are not religious, if you are not particularly spiritual as well, just pick a crystal that you're most drawn to. So once you're ready, just go to the description of the video and jump to the timestamp of the crystal that you pick, and you will get your reading there. Alright, so I will see you at the other side. Bye! Okay, all of you who picked pile number 1, the red tiger eyes pile, this is your pick a card reading. And I'm gonna start by shuffling the card and laying the cards in the orientation of the 12 houses. Alright, as you can see, I have sort of laid the cards into 12. I've laid 12 cards, and it mimics the 12 houses of astrology. First house, second house, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's the 12 houses right here. I'm going to start with the first card to represent you in this equation, and for me to get a sense of what are some of the major changes that's coming for you. So this card represents you, so I'm going to open the first house, you. And we get the 3 of Wands. If you look at the 3 of Wands, it's a really beautiful card. There are sort of like 3 wands being formed into like a triangle, and there's like a flame in the middle. So this is a really beautiful card. So I will go into this in a while, but I think the next card that I will open for you would be house number 8, because the 8th house is always about some kind of major crisis, major changes. So since we're looking at the major changes for you in your life in the next 6 months, we have to open this card. So let's see what this is. And we have the 8 of Wands. Wow, okay. Now this is really interesting, because the 3 of Wands is a fire card. The 8 of Wands is a fiery card as well. So there's something about enthusiasm and speed. So I'm going to start with this card again. So this card represents you. So you as a person, you in this schema of things here, you are sort of like, this fire. 3 of Wands generally gives a sense of optimism, a sense of, future oriented. It's sort of like, I am future oriented. It's sort of like, I am looking forward to things. I've gathered all my resources together and I'm ready for the next phase. Okay, so it's a really neat and really simple card. It just means that you have everything that you need and you're ready for the next phase. And the 8 of Wands as a major change card, well, this one really says that whatever change is it that you are seeking, it's going to move very quickly. Okay, 8 of Wands is usually a card of speed. In terms of the major changes, you can expect changes to come in a little bit like a hurricane. It just flies in very quickly. And I mean, based on these 2 cards, I get a sense that the change that you are looking for, there is some kind of change which you are looking for, which you are sort of trying to get together or get going. And definitely these 2 cards gives me a sense of enthusiasm, forward movement. It feels like things are going to be in motion. Okay, the changes that you can look out for would be for things to be in motion. Sometimes the 8 of Wands talks about news as well, talks about communication, talks about things moving at a speed where the issues or the things that's working just sort of unfolds on its own, so you can expect really big changes for you. And I feel like especially if you are working on some kind of project, some kind of big endeavors, things will move very quickly for you. I also get a sense that things will move so quickly that you may not be in control of where they are going, because you will be in the motion of the change, of the transformation, and will not be able to sort of like allow yourself to move there. Okay, so this is what I can say so far. So as you can tell, we have 12 cards over here. I'm not going to open all 12 cards. Okay, this is not how this style of reading works. I'm just gonna open selectively which card I think needs to be opened. So so far I picked the first card and the 8th card. I get a sense that the next card I should open is either 3 or 5. So I think I'll open, before I open either 3 or 5, I'll open the connection between 1 and 8 for you. So just to connect between you and the major change that is coming for you. I'm just going to connect that. So I'm going to pick a card from here. Let's see. Okay, so this is the one. So I'm going to connect that and I'm going to open. And the Knight of Swords, and you got it reverse. Cool. Okay, so this connects this too. Okay. So I think when I see this card, what's coming up for me is that you are really not in control of the change that's coming for you, that's abiding you. Knight of Swords is already this person that is sitting on a horse and is moving forward at a speed that is rather fast, rather quickly, and she is, or he is, not entirely stable, but he or she is still holding on to the reins quite a bit. When it's reversed, it can suggest that the speed of the endeavor, the speed of the change is too much to handle, that it's just moving too quickly, that you are no longer in control. The sense I'm getting is that whatever change that is coming for you, you don't really have any idea how to handle them, but things are moving very quickly, moving forward very, very quickly. And I don't think that's a bad thing, but the sense that I'm getting is that this sense of things moving very quickly may feel very overwhelming for you. It may feel like you are unable to cope, you can't cope. It may feel like it's like the horse that you're on, okay, is moving you rather than you controlling it and shaping how it's moving. So I think I can understand how that would be problematic for some of you. Okay, now I am going to open the next card, and I think the next card I open will be the fifth card, the fifth house, because the fifth house represents projects, businesses, and I get a sense that this change that we're looking at is about some kind of project and businesses. So I'm going to open this and we'll see what this is about. And you see, there we have it. It is the Knight of Wands reverse. Okay. Now, if you look at all the available sort of like data point right here, you realize that all the cards that's being opened so far, except for the middle card that connects this two, they're all fire cards. So I'm more sure than ever that this spread is really about some kind of endeavor, some kind of business that, or even a project that you are sort of manifesting or make happen. Okay, I get a sense that with Knight of Wands reverse, there will be a certain set of sort of like hard work, I would say, that you have to sort of gather and master to sort of put into this endeavor that you are trying to make happen. Now, the Knight of Wands, when it's upright, you can see that this person has lots of scar, right? Lots of scar, lots of scratches on him. He's sort of like surrounded by large wands around him, So there's a level of defensiveness. There's a level of being hurt by other things, around him. Okay, so when it's reversed, I get a sense that you may feel quite precious about the project, the endeavor, or even the business, if it's a business that you are embarking on, that you are sort of creating and make happen. I get a sense that you may feel quite personal about criticism, about like people's feedback about whether this is gonna work or whether it's not gonna work. You are definitely going to feel quite sore about people telling you, okay, this is good, this is bad, and I get a sense that you will eventually learn to just harden yourself to them and just take what you need to take. Okay, so in terms of the major changes, I'm definitely seeing that you are creating something, you are building something, you're manifesting something, and the difficult part is that there'll be a lot of people telling you what is right, what is wrong, what is good, what is bad, and you may feel like, you know what, I don't really know what to listen to, and because it is your baby, technically, your business is your baby, you may feel quite personal about them, and therefore you may feel a little bit about it, right? So I get a sense that you may want to just learn to harden yourself around these criticism and decide for yourself which one works for you and which ones don't work for you. Okay, so the next thing that I'm drawn to will be the 10th house, because this is about career. Well, 10th house is not just about career, it's about career and reputation. So I get a sense that this thing that you are creating has, it will contribute to your career and reputation. Let's just see how this major change would impact it. Oh, wow, look at this. This is wonderful. Okay, 10 of cups. So definitely the sense I'm getting is that this major change that is coming up for you, it will result in a lot of like happiness for you and a sense of fulfillment for you in terms of your career. In terms of your reputation, you will feel really happy, you will feel really joyous, you'll feel quite quite whole and quite together, right? This card, in the 10th house especially, can suggest that there might be some matrimony that's coming on as well, right? Because it is the 10 of cups, and we have two people holding hands. So it could be about, that this major change involves a marrying of some kind. It may not be like a literal marrying. It may not mean that you're literally going to a marriage, but it can be that you are marrying someone else in terms of pulling your resources together, putting things together and creating something brand new together. But this card is ultimately very joyous, very happy, very good. So don't think there's anything to worry about. Okay, so I'm just gonna leave this card here. Let's see which other cards wants to come out. So I think I'm quite happy with the cards I've drawn so far. Now I'm gonna pick a card to look at what is the underlying sort of influence that's abiding this major change. Remember what I said about control? Okay, the Chariot is a card of control. Okay, it is a card of a person trying to control the reins and control the white horse and the black horse. They are sort of like facing different direction. The person here is trying to control the reins and trying to sort of foster them into a singular direction. Okay, and it's a forward movement. And interestingly, this is the card that is a major card. The rest of your cards so far, if you look at the rest of your cards, they're all minor. This is the major arcana. So the underlying influence of the major change, I would say, would be very Chariot-like. So Chariot says a few things. So number one, Chariot is about control. I get a sense that the underlying influence that is driving the change is this need for control, the need to sort of call the shots, and be the boss. And the Chariot is a very career card, which is why I get a sense that I need to draw I need to open the 10th house, because I get a sense that it is about some kind of career. It is this manifesting that we are looking at. It's related to some kind of career. So the Chariot card definitely says that you want to create a life of your own. You want to create a reputation that you are happy to have. You want to drive your public self. You want to drive the Chariot and to sort of create and manifest a life that you want to put out there in terms of your career and public sort of reputation. Okay, so this is the underlying influence, the reason why this change is happening, why you want this change to happen. So I'm gonna look at now why is the change happening and what you are meant to learn. Okay, so again, I'm gonna pick a card. Here we go. So we got the Five of Swords reverse. Definitely when I see this card, Five of Swords, the sense I'm getting is that what you're meant to learn is that you can't have everything. Okay? You can't have everything. You can't have your cake and eat it. There are certain things that you have to let go of. I get a sense that, especially when the Five of Swords comes up, I get a sense that everything you do has consequences. You can't have everything. So why is the change happening, and what you are meant to learn is that you can't have everything. You have to pick and choose, and you have to be selective about it. I also get a sense that with this card here, it is entirely possible that you may just allow yourself to be mind fucked. So pardon my language. You may allow yourself to be to be jammed, you know, by wanting to have everything, you know, and not wanting to pay the price, and wanting things to be a lot easier than you wish. You are meant to learn to just let go of certain choices and certain options, and just pick you know, what you need to pick, you know, and you know, to understand that you can't have everything, unfortunately. Alright, okay, so I think I'm really good with these cards that I've displayed over here. Right now I'm going to draw 2 oracle cards to you know, for guidance and advice. Oh, Horus Cosmic Gateway. So look at what the card says. Your thoughts are magnetic and powerful. Miraculous changes are coming. Oh my lord, look at this. Right? I mean, like I said, right? This is a change-oriented reading, pick a card reading. So yeah, you know, this definitely says that changes is coming. Before I go deep into this one, I'm gonna draw another card from another pile. Okay, North Node life services. Wow. Okay, guys. Okay. Alright, okay. I need to calm down a little bit because I get very excited when I see these 2 cards. So firstly, Horus Cosmic Gateway is about major changes that's coming for you. It is also about manifesting, your ability to manifest miraculous experiences. It's sort of like trying to say that, you know, you can place the idea that you want to sort of create and produce, okay, into the divine, and ask them for help, and it will just manifest itself through you. They will assist you to manifest the project, the idea that you have, you know, through you, the abundance that you want through you. Know that you are not alone. Okay, you are by no means alone in this universe, in this world. Okay, you know, you are one with the divine power that created you. Okay, so you can place your faith in them. You can ask them to guide you. You can ask them to sort of like you know, co-create with you. This is not a card that says that you need to, you must only create in a way that is you know, controlling. You know, it means that, you know, you work with them, but you know, you have to let go and let God somehow. Okay, but this card is definitely a good card about manifestation, about allowing yourself to trust in the universe, that the universe will provide what you need. It will co-create with you what is meant to happen, what you're meant to have. Okay, so don't try to control too much, because you can't. Okay, allow, let go, let the universal energy work through you, work as magic. You know, just let go. Okay, and trust that it will they will give you what is best for you, what is best for you to achieve. If you are my astrology clients, it could be that, I mean, it is highly possible that when you are watching this, you know, you are about to get a North Node transit, or you are already on the North Node transit. Okay, so basically North Node is sort of like an arbitrary point in your astrology chart, which sort of talks about your life's purpose, your destiny, what your soul is more and more sort of inclining towards, growing and moving towards. Okay, so yeah, I mean, I've talked about this in the previous pick a card reading on what you need to leave behind and what you need to move forward. So check it out if you haven't. Whatever's gonna happen, it's part of your karmic destiny. Okay, so don't try to control, and just allow yourself to let go, and just trust that whatever it's gonna come, it's gonna come, and just allow yourself to just let it unfold. Okay, cool. All right, so thank you all of you who picked the red tiger's eye, the bullseye pile, this is your pick a card reading. I hope this works for you. Please let me know if you have any comments. Leave me a comment below, like and subscribe to your video. If you think this really works for you, please subscribe to my video, share this with all your friends, okay? And if you want a private reading with me, just drop me a DM and I will speak to you. Okay, I'll arrange a private consultation with you. Alright, so I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hello everyone who picked the Sodalite pile. This is your pick a card reading. Look at this beautiful Sodalite. Okay, so this is your pick a card reading, and I'm gonna go ahead and shuffle and start. I'm gonna shuffle the cards and I'm gonna do 12 cards in the astrological sort of houses formation. Okay, and I will not be opening every single card, only the ones that I think is necessary. I'll just open them and just see how it goes. Alright, so here it goes. I've shuffled and laid down 12 cards, right? So this is what's gonna happen. I'm gonna open the first card first. This card is to represent you. Okay, this is the first house position, so it represents you. And I'm gonna open the 8th card, which is representing the 8th house. So it's definitely about major changes and crisis even in your life, right? So let's open the first card. Oh, you got the 3 of Pentacles, right? Oh, such a beautiful card, isn't it? Okay, so you got it reverse. I will read more into this after I've opened the 8th card. So this is the 8th card. I'm going to open this, and this is the King of Pentacles. Okay, now it's very clear to me that there is a pentacle connection. So the first house, the first card represents you in this context of major changes that's coming for you in the next 6 months. Now, whenever I see the 3 of Pentacles, the sense that I'm getting is that it is not a card about working together, because it is reversed. So when 3 of Pentacles are upright, it is about 3 different elements working together as a cohesive whole. So when I get this card, I get a sense that you're looking at how things are not coming together cohesively. You're also looking at how just like the individual parts rather than the sum of its whole. So we may dive more into this as we go along. Now, the major change that is coming, I would say, because it's in the 8th house as well, King of Pentacles is about abundance. Okay, interestingly, it is in the 8th house, and I get a sense that this may be about some kind of investing and an investment. The thing about the 8th house is that it is not just about major change and major crisis. It is about fellow investors and sort of like leveraging on other people's resources. And for some reason, your spread so far is very money oriented. It's very money related. I'm not sure why. But this card definitely says that the major change that's coming for you or that's happening right now in the next 6 months is about money. I get a sense that it's about leveraging resources from someone else. King of Pentacles is like a rich man. He's someone who owns like this vineyards of grapes. So he's really, really abundant. You're sort of loaning and borrowing his money, okay, to do stuff. Or this major change may be about you trying to grow more money. Okay, so it's about money. There's a lot of things about money here, right? So I'm gonna put this down here for now, and I'm gonna trust my intuition to pick the next card. I actually want to see what is the connection between 1 and 8, but before I do that, I definitely want to open card number 2. This is the 2nd house, which is about money. Okay, this time it's about your money, your own resources. This one is about other people's resources. This one is about your resources. Okay, So what does it have to say? So I get the High Priestess. So I think the first thing that I can definitely say is that the High Priestess is about pure intuition. Okay? The thing about a High Priestess is that it feels like things are not happening, things are not moving, things are not changing, but there's so much things that's going on underneath the surface. It's really interesting, I must say. If we are talking about the astrology chart, we're talking about this spread as like an astrology chart. It's really interesting that the 8th house, okay, has like a money thing, okay, because usually the 2nd house is about your own resources, right? It should be the one that has the money thing. Conversely, the 8th house should be the one that has the High Priestess, because it's a lot more secretive. It's a lot more about sensing and intuiting on other things. 8th house is also about the house of the occult. So it's interesting that it's sort of swapped, right? I'm going to hold this card for a moment and I'm going to draw some connecting cards. So I'm going to draw the first connecting card between 1 and 8. Okay, so I'm going to place this, I'm opening up right here. So the first connecting card that connects 1st house and 8th house is the Center of Swords reverse. I got it reverse. And the next card is connecting 1 and 2. Let's just see what that is. Okay, let's go. Oh wow, it's the Emperor. Okay, this is really cool. Okay, it's really cool. So I definitely get a sense that the major change that's coming for you is about money. I get a sense that you have some sort of intuitive, sort of like a knack for something, like some kind of investment, some kind of things that you want to put your time and effort into. Okay, you're sort of like using your intuition on that. I get a sense that this major change that we are looking at has to do with the 7 of Swords. Now the 7 of Swords on reverse, it talks about like this animal that fights like the 5 swords, okay, and leaving 2 behind. Usually in the normal Rider-Waite sort of context, this card questions, like, okay, now that I have 5 swords in my mouth, I'm always looking back at the other 2, and I'm wondering whether I should have taken them instead, and whether it's going to be used against me in future, right? So when I get a card reverse, okay, I get a sense that wow, like this major investment that you're gonna put yourself into, that you're gonna go into, it feels like there's something very all or nothing about it. It feels like once you go into it, you feel like you can never return to where it was, because it's probably going to be like extremely life-changing for you. Okay, the interesting thing is that definitely this change, that this major change is coming for you, that we're looking at, it definitely feels like it is sort of like it promises some kind of abundance, it promises some kind of enjoyment and happiness, and it's a very material kind of abundance and happiness. So I get a sense that your intuition is involved. It could either mean that you want to do something that intuitively you feel like this is right for you, that you want to put your money, your resources into, put your effort into, and just take it out and just make it happen. Or it could really literally mean that you're trying to do some kind of making money venture, that is sort of like intuitively related. So it could be like spiritual trade even. So I'm really not sure. So interestingly, right, I talk about how this card, when it's reversed, it talks about the individual parts rather than the sum of the whole machinery. Okay, this card definitely talks about some kind of teamwork when it's upright. Okay, like this person puts in the money, this person put in the time, this person put in the knowledge and expertise, right? So 3 sort of coins working together to run the whole project. Now when it's reversed, more than ever I get a sense that this endeavor that we are looking at, this major change that we're looking at, is which looks like an investment of some kind. Maybe you're coming together to sort of create a business. I get a sense that you are at this point in time pondering what is your sort of relationship to this business, to this endeavor. You're thinking whether you should put in your coin, to chip in. So definitely this has to do with some kind of group thing that all of you are sort of like putting together to develop. It looks like some kind of business and endeavor for me. Okay, I don't know why, but it just looks like it. It looks like some kind of business and endeavor that doesn't just involve you, but it involves some kind of investment, and it seems to promise some kind of big changes and big sort of like a money making thing. Okay, so now I'm trying to look at this card because this card connects 1 and 2. Okay, which is you and your resources and your money. So number 4 is the Emperor card. So I think generally you as a person, when it comes to managing your own resources and money. Now when I use the word resources, I don't just mean money. Okay, when I use the word resources, I also mean like your time, your effort, because they are your resources, right? I get a sense that when you manage your resources, you have a structure. You follow some kind of rule and some kind of structure. You follow some kind of like a rubric, to sort of like think about how you want to manage your resources. But interestingly, in this schema of major change that we're looking at for the next 6 months, suddenly the way you look at resources is less form-based, is less methodical and more intuitive. Okay, it feels like you are trusting your feelings and your sort of neck for the first time. Okay, you feel like there's something about you internally that's telling you that, okay, this is the right move, like I need to do this, right? And I get a sense that you are I mean, the thing is that these 2 cards can be quite disorienting because this is like form, method, logic, whereas this is not logical. This is not the most sensible. Okay, this is very intuitive. It's just trusting a gut instinct, trusting an instinct, trusting your intuition, and this 2 just doesn't square quite very well. So I get a sense that possibly at this point in time, or probably in the change that's coming for you in the next 6 months, it may feel very disorienting for you because it feels like you want to trust your feelings for the first time, but the way you have been handling your resources and your time and all that isn't always the most intuitive. You tend to be more logical. Okay, so yeah, I am going to open card number 11. Okay, because I get a sense that there is something about group identity here. Yeah, I get a sense there's something about group identity here. I get a sense that because this is an investment opportunity, it feels like it's not just about you. It feels like it's about a team of people. So I'm going to open this. Oh, Knight of Cups. Knight of Cups reverse. I get a sense that in this schema of major change, the group of people that you're working together with, that you're sort of banding to work together, it feels like you guys are building a dream together. I also get a sense of like because Knight of Cups is a card about personal satisfaction, right? I get a sense that there may be some disagreement between groups of people, between the group identity. If you have fellow investors investing in the thing together, I get a sense that everyone has like a different idea of what satisfaction means. I get a sense that this, like it's not entirely cohesive, and I guess that's why, there's a 3 of Pentacles that's reversed, that represents you. I get a sense that like the team doesn't work like a team because everyone has different agenda, different stake. I get a sense that in terms of where the business is going or where the investment opportunity is going, it doesn't feel quite cohesive and quite coherent. I suspect there might be some problem, in the team dynamic. in a group dynamic between you and other people. All of you have different ideas of what is right, what is wrong, what is good for the business, what is not good for the business. That being said, I don't get a sense that the synergy is not good. I feel like there is still some kind of synergy. It may not be perfect though, but there is still some kind of synergy. So I'm gonna check, see. Yeah, well, it's supposed to be like a connecting card between 1 and 11. So I get a sense that the synergy comes from everyone just sort of like having a very clear role and a very clear sort of like a foundation and very clear demarcation of what everyone is doing. Honestly, I would say the synergy doesn't feel that synergistic. Right? Because Nine of Wands is a very defensive card, you know, it's like, hey, you know, like I'm battled and I work very hard for this thing. Don't come and tell me what to do. Don't come and tell me what is right, what is wrong. This is the way I want to do things. So I get a sense that it's really important, you know, that you, I'm not sure about your friend, but at least for you, it is very important that your boundaries are respected. It is very important that they don't give you feedback that you don't want to listen to. It's very important that you trust your own gut, your own instinct. And ultimately, you know, if it's like a thing that you are building together with other people, I get a sense that it's really, really important that you have some kind of boundary around you. You have some kind of autonomy and say for yourself what you want to do. Okay, so yeah, I mean, ultimately it can be quite problematic, you know, because, you know, when you are working with people, sometimes not a lot of things are in your control, right? So unfortunately that's the case. But what I will say though is that you are incredibly intuitive, so you do need to learn to trust your instinct and your intuitiveness rather than to listen to what people have to say about you. Okay, so it's absolutely important. Okay, so I'm gonna pick 2 other cards to see what's underneath all these things. Yeah, what's the underlying influence for the change? Knight of Cups, yeah, right. So I mean, this is very obvious, I think. The underlying influence for this major change is you wanting to sort of, you know, create a life that you desire. Okay, sort of like building and creating your dream. Okay, Knight of Cups is a very dreamy card. There's something very romantic about it. You may not be absolutely sort of realistic or practical, but you are trying to make your dream come true. Okay, I mean, I would say don't worry about the realisticness and the practicality, because the Three of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles suggest that there is a level of like realism and practicality that's involved, so you don't need to worry so much about it. But what's driving the change is this romantic idea of like, I want to build a dream, I want to go towards my dream. And the next card I'm going to draw, why is the change happening and what you are meant to learn. Okay. Oh wow, the Tower. Now the Tower is not a friendly card. Why is the change happening and what is it that you're meant to learn? The Tower definitely says, you know what? Remember what I said about foundation? The Tower definitely says that what you're meant to learn is that you are meant to destroy certain notions and ideas of, you know, certain foundations in your life. Okay, the Tower talks about this, you know, this thing of like I built this structure, I built this tower around me. You know, sort of believing that that's all I want, that's all I need, and that it's gonna shelter me. But you know, the Tower card always have this like lightning bolt thing that sort of hits the tower and the tower burns and destroys the tower. So one of the things that you're meant to learn is to understand that the foundation that you've been building your life on is not workable. I know this sounds harsh, but this is what this card is about. That the foundations you've been building your life upon is not workable, it's not going to work, you have to destroy it and rebuild it from the beginning. Okay, so this is what you are meant to learn, and this is why the change is happening. Okay, you have to destroy the tower that you've built and build a new one so that it is stronger and it can weather difficulties and destruction. Okay, so these are the tarot cards. So I'm gonna end this reading with 2 oracle cards. Okay, so here goes. So I think when I see this card, what is definitely trying to tell me is that you've got to expect, you've got to expect miracles to happen. There's something bigger than you that's having your back. Okay. Honestly, I mean, to be really absolutely honest, the cards looks okay until I pick the Tower card. Okay, so I think this one's definitely addressing the Tower card. I think it's definitely saying that Spirit got your back. You just have to trust, and just have to expect whatever the changes that's coming for you, it's coming for you, and you can weather and go through it. So yeah, Spirit got your back. Okay. The next card is about 6th house. 6th house is about routine, it's about your day-to-day work. I think other than trying to say that the changes that you're looking for, the dreams that you're trying to build, needs some kind of routine to sort of like build and get going. I think this card really means also for you to just remember not to get too stressed out, and to just remember to just take care of yourself, your day-to-day living, right? Make sure you don't stress yourself too much and all that. And it definitely says that if you for greatness to happen, for the change that you want, just allow yourself to just build a routine around it, build a habit around it. Okay, it's not easy trying to run a business with people together, or do some kind of investment. You have to practice, you have to slowly get used to it. Okay, and that being said, I'm going to open the 6th house because this is the 7th house and the 6th house. I'm going to open to see more clues. 5 of cups. Okay, now I understand why the 6th house card come out. I understand why this card come out. I think it's very likely that you feel very overwhelmed, that you can't become really upset, and you become really sort of lose hope, sort of get too pessimistic, that you feel like nothing's gonna work, the change that I want can't happen, the business that I'm trying to build is not possible. And I think this is why this card comes about. It's about just allowing yourself to expect miracle. Okay, it's gonna be tough, but just hustle through it. All right, okay, and just build a routine. And you really, this whole self-care is really important. 6th house is not just about routine, it's about your body as well. Make sure you have enough rest, you have enough food and drinks, and you're hydrated, and you have enough exercise, because those are going to help you to tide through this major change. Okay, so thank you all of you who picked Sodalite pile. I hope this reading works for you. Let me know what you think, leave a comment below, and if you really like this video, please click the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, right? And if you think this video really works for you, please share it with all your friends on your Facebook, on your Twitter, whatsoever, right? And I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hello everyone who picked pile number 3, the Shiva Lingam pile. This is your pick a card reading. So I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling the cards and arrange them into the 12 houses. So what's going to happen right now is that I will be shuffling the cards and arranging them into the 12 houses formation. I will not be opening all cards. I'll just see what comes along and I'll just open accordingly. So as you can see, there are 12 cards right now. Card 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So they're meant to represent the 12 houses, and I'm gonna go ahead and open the first card, which is the Ascendant. It represents you in this schema of change, okay? And I'm gonna open the 8th house, which represents the change and crisis itself. You know, if it's a crisis, it may not necessarily be a crisis, but most changes are crisis inducing. So yes, here we go. All right, so I'm gonna open the first card. Oh wow, 10 of Swords. So let's look at the major change. Okay, that's gonna happen for you within 6 months from today. Oh, it's Queen of Cups. Cool. So I must say, the Shiva Lingam people, your Ascendant card is not a card that I hope to see, because 10 of Swords is it's a very anxiety-inducing card. You look at this person, he's like being stabbed by 10 swords, and he's sort of crumbling, and his hand is on his head. He's just sort of like lost and sad and worried, and just feel like, you know, it just feels like he's broken. He's having like a meltdown, so to speak, right? So if you're having a meltdown right now, you know that, you know, it's okay. Okay, it's fine. Things are okay. Don't need to worry about it. Okay, we'll find some guidance for you at the very end. Okay, so this card is like a meltdown card. It's like things are absolutely not working together. You know, yeah. So this card is not the best card that you know you will see in the spread. But the major change, okay, talks about Queen of Cups. Now, if you look at this card, there's something really interesting and powerful about this card, right? It's sort of like this is a queen with like a wheelchair, you know? He's sitting on a wheelchair. He's holding onto a cup. She's breathing under water, and there's something very powerful about her, you know, even though she may not look the most comfortable, okay, in water with a wheelchair, you know, doesn't look the most comfortable, right? I get a sense that the change that is coming at you will not be pleasant. It's almost like a very deep psychological, sort of like traumatic transformation, kind of change, you know. I mean, there's a certain grace about the Queen of Cups as well. So I get a sense that this change is going to be quite crumbling, because, you know, when I see this card, I get a sense that change doesn't feel like it's going to be great. It's going to feel like quite crumbling, but you are going to learn how to navigate all these waters, okay, and be pretty good at it, actually. Okay, that's what I get. This Queen of Cups is about. I will go back more into this, okay, but there is something healing about this card as well. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to this. I'm gonna find the connection between 1 and 8. What's the connection between the first house and the 8th house? Okay, so I'm gonna open the card. 2 of Swords reverse. I definitely get a sense that this major change that you are about to go through, there's either something that you are on right now, or that is coming for you in the next 6 months. It will not be pleasant. Okay, I definitely get a sense of that. Interestingly though, I get a sense that this card talks about a kind of perspective. You know, you have to sort of decide how you want to look at all this change that is coming for you. Okay, so you see, this person is sort of like overwhelmed, right? But he's not drowned. He's just overwhelmed, right? With 10 swords like piercing through him. You know, nowhere near dying, right? Whereas this woman is sort of like in water with a wheelchair, and is breathing in water. Okay, interestingly, Queen of Cups is also, and this just came to me, right? It's also like a Scorpio archetype. And interestingly, it's appearing in the 8th house, which is the Scorpio house, right? So I get a sense that this card, sort of talks about how like you need to make a choice, and you need to decide which version of who you are as a person is going to work for you. Okay, now the sense I'm getting is that the change, the crisis, is definitely crisis inducing. It's definitely not going to be easy, but this card actually asks you to, well, I wouldn't say shift perspective per se, but it's asking you to decide like whether it is working for you, which one works better for you. Is the overwhelmed version, does that work well for you, or is being this person who is like wheelchair bound but being able to breathe in water and to be like the queen in this like barrage of water and crisis, whether that works better. Okay, so this is what connects these two cards. It's a matter of sort of like a choice and a matter of perspective, right? So I feel like at this point in time, I want to go deeper with what this crisis and major change is about. So it's interesting. So I'm gonna look at the rest of the cards and see what else is happening. I think I'm gonna open the water trine. Okay, so I'm gonna open the water trine, meaning I'm gonna open card 12 and card 4 because they form like a triangle. In astrology, we call it like a grand trine. So I just want to see how this change might link to what is behind the scene, what is in the spiritual realm, what is in your karma versus anything that's at home or in your family. Okay, so I'm just gonna open them. Ace of Sword. Okay, wow. Okay, and Two of Pentacles. So I'll start with the Ace of Sword first. I feel like at the foundation of who you are as a person, you are someone who is incredibly decisive, who is incredibly, you are someone with a lot of fighting power. There's a willfulness about you. Okay, at the crux of who you are, the 4th house is not just about your family, but it's also about your foundation. The foundation of you as a person, your upbringing even, right? You, at the crux of who you are someone who's really, really decisive. You cut decisively. When you decide on something, you go for it, right? I feel like this card talks about the kind of like internal resource that you have within you that you can count on to get over this crisis, to sort of like deal with this crisis. I get a sense that also with the Ace of Swords in the 4th house, I get a sense that there might be some conflict at home. There might be some difficult people that you live with. If it's your roommate, if it's your friends that you're living with, or if it's your family members, there might be some difficulty and some conflict with them. Which I'm wondering whether these two are related. Whether this crisis is related to the people that you live with. I will draw a card to see. Actually, I'm just gonna draw a card now to see. So let's see if they're related. The Emperor. Yeah, I think it's a father or a father figure that you live with. It may make you feel like you can't, this person may make you feel like you can't breathe. But it's interesting, right? Like, why is this like a major change for you? Because if it's like a family thing, it should be something that you you do quite often. I mean, it's something that you live with quite often. So why is this like considered like a change? I'm not really sure. So the Emperor talks about that. Okay. Also, I mean, in terms of the connecting, right? Connecting these two cards together, I would also say that the Emperor definitely also talks about how you as a person, you just need to like find the power within you to get you to that major change. Okay. I'm gonna go to the 12th house. Tells us what's behind the scene, what is not seen, what is sort of like abiding this whole thing, you know, like a behind the scene kind of way. Two of Pentacles definitely talks about some kind of juggling. I get a sense that there's a need to juggle between two things. I'm wondering whether this is about, you know, being stressed out, you know, by having to hold two jobs or having to deal with two things at a go. You know, because interestingly, you get the Two of Swords as well. You know, which is also about some kind of decision making. Okay, so you know, we have two twos, right? So I get a sense that there might be something about juggling two things, having to make a choice and decision between two things, and I get a sense that you are definitely like feeling really stressed out. Okay, so now I think I'm starting to get what this card means. The major change that is coming for you is that you will become this person who is someone who is not sort of let down or debilitated or discouraged by what's crippling her. She just allow her flamboyance to live on even in water, to live gracefully even in this sort of like crisis. And you know, she breathes. She doesn't just survive in this crisis mode. She breathes in water as well, which suggests that she's thriving. Okay, very powerfully, and also there's a gentleness to her as well. Okay, so I get a sense that there's some kind of juggling involved. There might be some conflict at home or with the people that you live with. But I also get a sense that these two are sort of like helping you, because this is like a grand trine, right? These two are sort of like helping you to get here as well, to be this graceful person, in duress rather than to be this person. Let's just see what else this crisis is related to. So my sense is that it might have to do with some kind of work and routine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the card number 6, okay? Because we have the juggling card, so I just get a sense that it might have to do with work, okay? 3 of Cups, you've got the 3 of Cups reverse, okay? So definitely the 3 of Cups suggests, you know, with it being reversed in the 6th house, which is about your work and routine, it suggests some kind of, you know, it's a little bit depressing. It's a little bit like all work and no play, that kind of situation. It's like you're not celebrating. There's nothing to celebrate. That you can't celebrate. You can't have fun. You can't enjoy yourself. You can't party with people. And I'm wondering whether that sort of is part of the reason why you feel so stressed. You know. So pile number 3, the Shiva Lingam pile. Unfortunately, I feel like you guys are, you know, in sort of like a very difficult decision. I'm in a difficult position. I don't think it's like super bad, but I get the sense that it is not very ideal. Yeah, it's just a lot of stress and tension. Okay, I have feeling that it is about work. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and open 10th house and 2nd house because it's about money. So you know, let's see. Queen of Wands reverse and 4 of Swords reverse. Cool. So when I see the Queen of Wands reverse, you know, it's a creative card. Okay, it's about the zest of life, the ability to sort of like be happy and just allow yourself to enjoy life, you know, in its fullness. And to be able to be creative and express yourself fully. Now, when it is in the 10th house and it's reversed, I'm wondering if it's because you are an artist, or if you are going to be an artist, or if your career is art related. But essentially, when I see the Queen of Wands reversed, I get a sense that there is that pent up sort of like frustration. There is that pent up sort of like inability to express yourself fully and creatively. I think that definitely is part of the reason why you are under duress. Okay. And let's look at the money bit. So we've got the Four of Swords, reverse, and it's the money house. So I get a sense that perhaps money at the moment, temporarily, during this change, when it happens, it is not working out. It's sort of like your bank is going to sleep. It's going for hibernation temporarily. And I get a sense that hibernation doesn't feel very restful, So I'm wondering whether it's because money is not coming in as smoothly as you want. It's like you're a farmer, right? And there is season, and now it's supposed to be like the downtime, the down season, or when this change is happening, money is like supposed to be in the down season, and you're supposed to rest the land, for the next season, but it just doesn't feel restful. It feels like you need to work all the time because money just doesn't feel comfortable. There's something restless and uncomfortable about where money is right now. Possibly, you might be on a temp, kind of like a job. You're not working like in a full-time capacity. There's a haphazardness to income, to where money is. And it's just a lot of like messiness in your life at this point in time. So very uncomfortable. The issue here is that I see significant hardship, but I don't see like major, explosion, or what I call like a jibaboom, So my sense of the reading so far is that things are going to be hard, but you are going to be fine, which is why, ultimately this is the change that you're becoming, right? Which is why you get a Queen of Cups, right? Because I get a sense that ultimately, you're going to learn to live with grace, you're going to learn to be resourceful. It's a little bit like that there is a healing, this sort of like a healing journey for you almost. That you are, learning to heal yourself, you're learning to heal the people around you, you're learning to not just survive but thrive. The good news is that these are hardship, but they are not, it's not chaotic. Okay, so that's the good news. The bad news is that these are hardship and you feel like you can't actively create the life that you want to be. You can't express yourself fully, in the work that you do. The sense that I'm getting right now is that we're not looking at one thing that's happening. The thing about the other two crystals that I've done, the Sodalite and the Great Tiger's Eye, they all sort of form a coherent narrative of what's going on. Okay, for you it feels like there's a lot of things that's going on at the same time. Okay, I get a sense that there's something about family that's going on. There's something about your job that's going on as well. So it feels like there's multiple things that's happening at the same time. I don't want to go too deep into them. If you want to go deeper with any of them, come to me for a session and let's arrange for a reading. But if I have to use my astrological sort of like perspective to look at what all these things is about, I would say it feels like you're being hit by a lot of major transits at the same time. And that's very difficult because it feels like your life is, it feels like life is just like trying to tear you in different direction, and this is what this reading feels like, So if this has not happened to you yet, I think you can start to expect that in the next 6 months, life is going to sort of like, pull you in different direction, and they're going to try and render you asunder. Okay, so it's quite messy, it's quite complex, lots of things that's going on. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pick 2 guidance cards, and let's just see what guidance is going to come up for all of you with the Shiva Lingam power, right? So I'm going to start by shuffling. Alright, let's see what guidance. Oh, wow! I mean, come on, seriously. Right, because this is the exact guidance card that came out for, the previous pile, the Holy Spirit. Expecting miracle, right? Just know that Spirit has your back, your miracle's gonna occur naturally. So, okay, I'll go more into this later. And Virgo, I analyze. So I think in terms of guidance, this card definitely wants to remind you that, expect miracle to happen. Accept help from the divine and the universe. If you're religious, pray to your God, pray to your deity. If you're not, pray to a higher power, or like if you don't really believe in anyone else, then believe in yourself. Believe in your higher self, because that's like a higher, more evolved version of you. Okay, this card definitely says that you can expect miracle to happen. Okay, that Spirit has a back. Okay, and interestingly, I also like to draw you to this image of a bird that's like sort of like flying with this thing here into the cup. This card looks like the Ace of Cups as well. Okay, and if you are keen, you can speak to Angel Gabriel. Okay, not me, I'm not the angel, but like my namesake, Angel Gabriel, because he holds a chalice. I think it's also important for you to just give yourself permission to feel fully. Okay, to recognize and acknowledge what you are feeling. Okay, because that's what Ace of Cups is about, feelings. Recognize, acknowledge what you're feeling, and work from there, instead of trying to not acknowledge those feelings, because those feelings actually open up clues as to how you can go on to navigate and mediate this transformation, the change that is happening for you. Okay. Now, the next card I'm getting is Virgo, I analyze. So, I definitely get a sense that the guidance for you is to sort of just, rather than feel overwhelmed, find solution. Troubleshoot, find solution, analyze what is the most efficient path and solve it. Okay. And know that the Virgo energy is not about themselves. The Virgo energy is about service. The reason why when we feel unhappy or we feel really stressed out and in duress is because we are focusing on our own pain right now. Okay, but when you focus outwards, when you turn everything outwards and try to sort of be in service to the people outside of you, to the people around you, okay, it can help you to make things a little bit better. Okay, so this is what this card is about. So this kind of guidance, right? So expect miracle, yes, but at the same time, don't focus so much on your pain. Use just serve, analyze, find solutions to problem, okay, and solve it. Okay. When I see this card, I get a sense that at this point in time, this is now not a time for you to just be stubborn and say, I want to be myself, I want to express myself, but to sheath your light for the moment and focus on other things. That's equally as important. Okay? And service is important. It's not just about being who you are, but also servicing other people, being contribution to other people. Those are equally as important as well. Alright? The Shiva Lingam pal. This is your pick a card reading. I hope this works for you. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments below, and like the video if you like it. Comment and subscribe to my channel and share the video with all your friends if you think it gives you value and you want your friends to have those value as well. Alright, so that's all I have, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye! Hello, all of you who picked pile number 4, the Black Tourmaline pile. This is your pick a card reading. So I'm going to go ahead and start to shuffle the tarot cards. So I'm going to go ahead and start to shuffle the tarot cards, and what I'm going to do is that I will deal 12 cards to represent the 12 houses. Alright, so I dealt all 12 cards. So I'm going to go ahead and open card number 1, which is the Ascendant, which represents you with regards to this major change, as well as the card number 8, which represents the change itself, because 8th house is about crisis and change. So let's just see what they are. Okay, so for the card that represents you, I call it the 8 of Pentacles, and the card that represents the change for you is a 7 of Cups reverse. So interestingly, because I'm an astrologer, when I see this card as the change card, I get a sense that you are going to get like a Neptune transit. And what is Neptune transit? Neptune transit is a transit that it makes things very confusing, it makes things very overwhelming. There's a lot of longing and dissolving and nostalgia and possibility, what could be, romanticization, idealization. These are all Neptune transits. So I'm gonna start with this card here. So 8 of Pentacles suggests that you as a person, you are, you're quite rock solid, right? Even though this person is in prayer, okay? And there's a lot of glistening thing around her. She's not completely sort of taken by those glistening thing. She's still like grounded, and she is like praying. She's in her things, she's doing her thing. It's a card about work, it's a card about routine, it's a card about, doing things, creating things, right? And definitely I get a sense that this card, as an ascending card, it suggests a level of groundedness to you. Okay, so I'm gonna say that you as a person, you're pretty grounded, and when the change comes, whether it is now or in 6 months, within 6 months, you're gonna feel like this feeling of ungroundedness, and even like a sense of like despair that is coming for you. The thing about 8 of Pentacles is that it can be quite boring, right? Because it's all work and then all groundedness and all routine, which is what groundedness means. When you're grounded, you are not easily stimulated. Okay, nothing lures you, nothing allures you, nothing attracts you as much. You're just, you're just doing your thing and comfortable being alone, comfortable doing the same thing over and over again. Now, when the 7 of Cups reverts, when it comes along, it feels like suddenly you want options. You want a lot of options, right? In the traditional sort of tarot iconography, the 7 of Cups is always like, every cup always has some thing in it, sometimes it could be like gold pieces, a dragon, or love, so it's a sense of like desire, and sort of like overwhelmed by wishes and things that glitters that you want, all of them. So I get a sense that the major change that is coming for you will feel like this sense of starting to feel lost, because suddenly you desire things, you want things that you don't used to have, because you are this grounded Eight of Pentacles kind of person, right? So yeah, the change has to do with suddenly you wanting more options, wanting, being more idealistic, and feeling like you don't really know what is it that you really want, what is the very clear direction for you. Okay, so things just starts to feel very fuzzy, very blurry, very lost. Okay, and it can be quite depressing. I want to draw a card to understand what's the connection between these two. Okay, so I'm going to draw a card. 10 of Pentacles reverse. I think this card really just anchors down on what I said about groundedness. Okay, a 10 of Pentacles, you look at it, right? There's three roots. Tree roots, it's sort of like, it sort of talks about tradition. It talks about like how like families, over different generations, they've accumulated wealth. They have sort of like they have a house together, and wealth builds over generation and generation, and the foundation just built on its own, right? Now you got the 10 of Pentacles reverse, right? Once again, it's the idea of like groundedness and rootedness, sort of like being tossed and sort of like upheaved. I get a sense that there's a realization that what you have, what you think you have, what you think you want is no longer applying here. I get a sense that there is sort of like a rediscovery and going deep into really understanding, this establishment that's being built around you, this foundation that you have through your adult life, or that has been built since your childhood, or even through the different generations of people living in the same family, whether they are still what you want, whether you want to continue that. I mean, I'm very sure that this will be very crisis inducing, but at the same time I'm going to say that it's going to be very, very uncomfortable, because suddenly you do not identify with what has been established through many, many, many years of hard work. For example, you come from a family that runs a business, right? And for generations they've been working on a business, and there's a lot of hard work put into it, and the business grew, became really, really, your family became really, really rich, and international and all that. And you thought that, maybe it's like you are next in line to take over the business, but you start to realize that it's not you. You don't identify with it anymore. Okay, and therefore it's very, very uncomfortable. Therefore you're questioning, who am I as a person? What am I really as a person, right? 10 of Pentacles almost always talks about tradition, and therefore also almost always talks about family. So I'm definitely going to open the fourth house, the fourth card over here. Okay, just to understand what this whole change is all about. 2 of Pentacles, and I got the 2 of Pentacles reverse. The first thing that I want to draw your attention to is that we have a lot of Pentacles card. 3 in fact, okay, and only 1 water. Okay, once again, Pentacle, the Earth suit, it's kind of boring, it's kind of fixed, and it's productive as well. It's great, it's a great suit, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't inspire wonder. Okay, and the change that we're looking at that's coming for you, Okay, it's all about this sense of wonderment. It's no longer so practical anymore. It's all about your wishes, and what you dream about, and it's it's a very different energy, right? It's a very different energy from you. And in terms of the astrology chart, right, the 8th house is not something that you have a lot of control over. 1 and 4 is something that you have a lot of control over, right? So let's look at this card, which represents the 4th house, which represents the foundation of the matter of what this whole thing is all about. 2 of Pentacles is, when I see reverse, I get a sense of change. It's sort of like this person trying to juggle 2 things. You see, the thing about juggling is that when you juggle something, most of the time, you juggle things, and they may not be related to one another. They may not necessarily work with each other, but they do not oppose each other, right? So when you juggle things, it feels like even though they may not come together, they do not oppose each other, if you know what I mean, right? So the sense that I get when I see the 2 of Pentacles reverse, I get a sense that this juggling that's happening is a juggling of things which are not meant to work together. In fact, they are so different from one another. In fact, they're actively sort of like, fighting against each other. Therefore, I get a sense that there's a juggling between what you want and what perhaps your family wants. If this is about, if this is related to family. Okay, it could be a lot of things. It's not just like a business thing. It could be like certain occupations that you want to go into and your family is opposing it. It may be like a conversation about, I want to pursue my dreams, but my family is not allowing it because it doesn't make practical sense. So there's that sense. But I'm also going to say that with this card in the 4th house, I get a sense that if there are opposing desire between you and your family, it's always been there. It has always been there. You've always been trying to juggle between what they want and what you want. Even though they are fundamentally opposing each other, they are not posed as a problem for now, but I get a sense that they are now sort of problematic. It's now actually sort of working against each other. Okay, I'm going to draw a card to see if there's any connection between 8 and 4. Yeah, there is a connection. Okay, and once again, it's a Pentacle card. Did you see that? Right? There is a connection. There is like a big, fat, solid connection. Yeah. I get a sense that it's about opposing wants and opposing desire, and their desires about practical things. So I get a sense that it's about money. It's about occupation. If there's like family business kind of thing, I get a sense that it's about that. You may feel like you want to pursue something else, but there's a sense that you are not allowed to at this point in time. I'm going to pick a card to understand what's the underlying influence, okay, for this major change. So this card is for the underlying influence. I'm going to pick a card for why the change is happening and what you are meant to learn from it. I'm going to put it on top of this change card here. The underlying influence is strength. It's pretty neat. And what you are meant to be learning, why is the change happening? 3 of Wands reverse. It's really, really interesting because sort of like the rest of your cards are all like earth cards, right? But the card there is the change card, the card of change and crisis is water. It is flanked by 2 sort of like fiery card, right? Well, strength is not exactly very fiery, but I mean, with the lion thing, it's sort of like a semblance and relatedness to Leo. I get a sense that there's something very fiery about this change as well that you desire. I think the underlying influence is for you to be strong. That you want to tame this desire and primal sort of like a want that you have, right? You know, your cards are defined, you know, a lot of your cards are defined by earth cards, right? And earth people, generally, they don't really have a lot of desire, okay? They are not passionate people per se. They are more routine people. They are more routine people. They are more about results and productivity. They are more about what is practical. Okay, so they are not desire type of people. Okay, but interestingly, the underlying influence that is sort of like governing this transformation and change. Okay, is about passion. It's about like taming this passion, allowing yourself to work with this passion. Okay, interesting card about the strength card is that it is not a card about full passion and that's it, you know. In fact, strength is very far away from passion. It is about learning to tame but also work with this passionate energy that you already have. Okay, and sort of mold it into some kind of productivity. Okay, I get a sense that generally you as a person with all these earth cards around, I get a sense that you don't have a very strong sense of want. You don't allow yourself to want as much. You allow yourself to, you know, just do the practical thing, do the right thing, do the thing that is productive. Okay, so you don't really have a chance to explore your passion, to really work with your creativity and passion and see what that can entail and what can come out of it. Okay, so strength is really, really important. You know, the underlying influence here, right, for the change is for you to work with this passion that you already internally have, that you haven't quite looked at or worked with. Okay, now why is the change happening and what you are meant to learn? So when I see this Three of Wands card, I get a sense of campfire. You know, campfire is a bright thing. It is bright, it is open, it is permissive, it garners, it gives out light. Okay, it's allowed to burn, you know, bright, and it attracts, it gives out warmth and therefore attracts people. I get a sense that what you're meant to learn is something along those lines of like learning to finally have that passion in you. You know, to really allow yourself to be passionate, to bring things, to really light that fire within you, rather than to just surrender to the drudgery and methodical nature of what your life is previously about. Okay, what you're meant to learn is to ignite that fire. Okay, with this card, I get a sense that generally, when you have desire, when you have like this spark of like I want that comes to you in your life, you kill it very quickly. you don't really allow yourself to explore. You don't really allow yourself to move with it, mainly because there's a fear of sensual. There's a fear that it is not right. There's a fear that you know, it's burning too bright. It is too much. That it's going to take up too much of your time, of your effort, take up too much space, you know. And you know what happens is that you end up just quelling and quashing your desire and passion very quickly, because you don't want people to say no to you. You don't want it to be drowned. Okay. So you know what you're meant to learn is to sustain that fire and you know, like really make it into something, rather than to just like kill it off so quickly. So like I said, this reading is not about opening all the cards. I'm really opening the cards that I feel intuitively drawn to. I definitely get a sense that this major change for you is about igniting that passion, yeah, and allowing yourself to ignite that passion, to sort of like give fire to activate the dream that I have, that I want to have, right? So right now I'm gonna open 2 cards, okay, guidance card, and let's just see, what's the guidance for you. I just want to say that I absolutely love the card that I picked for you. So the first card is Holy Amethyst, Divine Alchemy, moving beyond current challenges and focus on what you desire. Come on, man, like seriously, right? I mean, this just repeats exactly what I just said, right? Sorry, I'm really excited when I see that. But basically this card talks about, it really just tells you that like the situation that you're in right now is no longer helpful for you. Okay, things feels boring and drudgery, and it feels like very boring and routine for a while. It's time to spice things up. If you no longer just want to work for the money, or just do what you have always done, what your family has always done, it's time to shake it up and do something different about it. Okay, it's time to clear it out. It's time to just move beyond that and just let go of any stagnant energy. And this is like Earth tends to be so consolidated and stagnant. It's time to move beyond that. And just focus on things which allows you to fulfill you, in a very desired kind of manner. Just fulfill you, that feeds you, feeds your soul, not just your body, right? Focus on what you desire and not what you fear. The thing about people who are very Earth is that they fear change. Okay, they don't like change because it's unstable. It is crisis-inducing, and Earth is not about change. Earth is all about things staying the same or more of the same, right? But guess what? The other card you got is Scorpio. To transform. If you don't like how boring or how routine your life is, you need to transform. You need to create a life for yourself. You need to transform and evolve. Okay? Scorpio is a change-inducing card. It's about change. Scorpios, they don't love change, but they thrive in change. Okay? And this is the card that I want to end with for you, which is that you may not like change, but if you can sort of just to have that little bit of a Scorpio energy in you, just allow yourself to be a little bit of a Scorpio, allow yourself to just persist and thrive, and to sort of just soldier on in times of change, to allow yourself to completely transform. You can. Okay, it can be really powerful if you want to. You can activate your desire. Okay, you can pursue your dreams if you allow yourself to do that. Okay, so I'm gonna leave all these cards here with you. So pile number 4, the Black Tourmaline pile. This is your pickup card reading. I hope this works for you. If you want a private reading with me, just drop me a DM and I'll arrange a consultation and a session with you. If you like this video, please like it. Please give it a thumbs up. Share this video with all your friends. Leave a comment below. And I will see you in the next video. Bye! Hello everyone who picked the Rose Quartz pile. This is your pick a card reading. So I'm gonna go ahead and start shuffling the cards. Okay, so what's gonna happen right now is that I will shuffle this deck of tarot cards and I will deal 12 cards in a circle. Okay, so to sort of mimic the astrological houses, the 12 houses. So you can see from what's being laid out in front of you, there are 12 cards in total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So each card represents one of the 12 houses. So like I said, I will not be opening all of the 12 cards. Okay, I'll only open the relevant cards. So I will start with the Ascendant, which is the first house. Okay, the first card is the Ascendant. It represents you vis-a-vis the change. Okay, and I get the Queen of Swords reversed. Okay, and the next card I will pick will be the 8th house, because the 8th house talks about changes, talks about major changes, transformation in your life. Okay, so let's just open and see what's coming up. Okay, oh, you got the Hangman reverse. Okay. This card is a Widow card. I've said it many times in my channel. It's the Widow card. It's about having to take charge. It's like the king has passed on and the queen has to take over the kingdom and has to sort of like yeah, you know, take over the kingdom and rule the kingdom. When I see the reverse Queen of Swords, okay, I get a sense that suddenly you are being left alone. Suddenly you feel like you have to take charge. Suddenly you feel like you have to do something about your life, about certain things. Things have to move in a certain way. Suddenly, you know, it could be that, you know, you lost a job, you left a job. It could be that you moved to a different place and suddenly you're on your own. You know, it's a sense of being on your own, and the keyword here is sudden. And why sudden? Because I get when I see the reverse Queen of Swords, the sense I'm getting is that this Queen of Swords doesn't really want to be the Queen of Swords. You know, it's sort of like it's just sort of like she's thrust into that position, you know, to be independent. So what is this change and mega change about? So this is the change, okay? The Hanged Man reverse. The Hanged Man is, you know, this person surrendering to his position of being upside down, okay? But you see that there's something very romantic about him. He bites a rose, he's hung upside down, and there's like a golden halo behind him, okay? In the mythology of the Hangman, which is actually the mythology of Odin, okay? Odin hangs himself from the world tree. Odin is the Norse king of gods, right? He hangs himself from the world tree, and, you know, just willingly allow himself to be hanged there and sacrifice himself so that he can gain the knowledge of the world. When it's upright, it has its willingness. It's sort of like saying that I willingly sacrifice myself for this other thing that I want, for this change, right? Now, when it's upright, when it's reversed, when the Hangman is no longer upright, it's sort of trying to say that you'll be forced into a position where, you know, you don't really want to be there. Okay, this change that you are being put through, there will be resistance. Okay, you know, this two card has that similarity. You know, there is some kind of resistance, you know, to being independent and to sort of like be hung from your feet. I can sense that with this Hangman reverse, you don't really want to change the perspective. So the Hangman is a limbo card. Okay, it is a very unsavory sense of limbo. It's like you're neither here nor there, which is what limbo is about, right? So when it's reversed, this limbo nature of being in limbo is something that you find a lot of resistance against. You don't really want to be in that position. But I get a sense that when I see this card, I get a sense that on a soul level, you have already signed yourself up to be to undergo this major change and major shift. You can't really change your mind now. The sense I'm getting is that in your heart of heart, in your soul of soul, you know that this change is right for you. You know that you have to go through this mega big change in perspective, in life, in your perspective of life, in where you are in life, but the mortal self, the ego self is sort of resisting that. Okay, which is fine. You know, you will just slowly have to get used to that and adjust to it. The Hangman is also about a change in perspective. Okay, willingness to change and sacrifice yourself. And when it's upright, it suggests that the change in perspective is not there. Okay, you don't really want to change the perspective. It also suggests that if it's about some kind of sacrifice, some kind of surrendering to something, that you have no control of, you are very unhappy about it, you are resisting it. Okay, so there's a lot of resistance here. Okay, for some reason, because the Hangman is about wisdom, I think I'm going to open the 9th house later just to see how this comes into this major change that's happening. I think right now I also want to pick a card that connects this to got the 8 of Swords with us. Okay. Well, I mean, your cards are telling a very similar story. So the 8 of Swords is this little girl who is blindfolded, and she is bound by you know, like all these barbed wires, and she's bleeding. She just sat there and she feels helpless. Okay, but actually her hands are not tied. Okay, she can just easily just bring her hands to the blindfold, take out the blindfold, see that, you know, there's a wire cutter next to her, and just use the wire cutter to cut the barbed wire, right? So when it's a reverse 8 of Swords, I'm never going to say that there is a victim complex here, you know, and because, you know, like I said, surrendering, right? Sacrifice and surrendering. So there is definitely like a victim complex here. You may feel very unhappy and disgruntled that, you know, you're being left in this independent position that you don't want to be in. That, you know, you are in limbo, you know, that you have to go through certain sacrifice, you know, and this card basically just says that, you know, this whole situation here is about slowly unraveling and slowly getting used to this major and mega change that's coming for you. Allow yourself to say that you are not that helpless at all, you know, that you can do something about it. Okay, so there is a lot of helplessness here. Eventually and gradually you start to realize, okay, you know, I can't be helpless anymore, I just need to do something about it, and you start to wisen up and do something about it. Okay, so this is what this connects these two cards. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this, I'm gonna open this 9th house card. Okay, the 9th house is about the sense of like religion, your philosophy, your right and wrong, also like the larger kind of like a perspective and wisdom. Okay, I just want to see like how does this relate to this major change in the next 6 months. You got a Knight of Cups. I'm gonna say that there is a level of martyrdom that's happening here. I'm seeing a lot of, based on these 3 cards, I'm seeing a lot of unwillingness. Unwillingness to go through, unwillingness to allow yourself to change, to move with the change, surrender to the change, resistance against the change. Interestingly, what I'm not absolutely clear about is what this Knight of Cups is, you know. I think on one hand, it seems to suggest that the philosophy that's driving this change is your wish to find the holy grail of life, you know. So there's something very romantic about it, that, you know, you're going through this change because you want to pursue your dreams, sort of, you know. You want to pursue your dreams, you want to pursue something that you've always wanted, and so you are allowing yourself to go through this particular change. But at the same time, the Knight of Cups also seem to suggest that when you think about enacting this change or going through with this major change in your life, there's a romantic ideal that you have about what things are, where it is going, where it should be going, or the reward that you're going to reap from it. And this card can suggest that there's a lot of idealization, you know. It's sort of like I'm going to quit my job and, you know, I'm going to be a baker. Okay, and so what you did is that you quit a job and you enroll into baking school and you start learning how to bake, right? But then these cards seem to suggest that you realize that, oh, you know, now that I've quit my job, I don't really have anything to depend on to earn money, okay? And, you know, I'm sacrificing myself for something, but at the same time, I'm not really happy with this sacrifice. I'm in resistance to that, you know, and then there's a lot of that unhappiness, etc., etc., etc. Right? And you feel like and now that you feel like you have quit, you have no choice, you know, you don't really know what to do with it, you feel a bit helpless, and you realize that, oh, baking school is not really as fulfilling or as fruitful as you think about, as you really want, and now you're regretting, etc. Okay, so the Knight of Cups is a double, sort of like doubleness of like over idealization of what you wanted, okay, and also that sense of like I'm putting myself through all this because I want a better life. Okay, I want my life to have the Holy Grail. I want to have the Holy Grail. This seems to be like the attitude towards this change, or it could also be what's driving this change as well. Because a lot of your card has that sense of helplessness, I feel compelled to open the 12th house, okay, because it has a very strong Piscean energy, which is all about sacrifice and all that. So I'm gonna just open it and just see what comes out of it. Oh, and you got the Page of Wands reverse. Page of Wands reverse. Okay. So the 12th house is about, you know, it's very much about hidden influences. It's very much about what's behind the scene. What is that you're not seeing? You know, sort of, so to speak. Okay. I just get a sense that there's a level of self-undoing here, you know, which is what the 12th house is about. You know, it seems like you're overly excited about a particular thing and you decide to jump into it. You know, Page of Wands, you know, it's like a little child, you know, being very excited about something, you know, and it's reversed. So I get a sense that there's an overexcitement about you know, let's say like if you really just quit a job and you know, bring about a certain change in your life, you might have like being overly excited about it and didn't really care about the consequences. But now that you are deep in this period of change, it seems like you feel a bit helpless, a bit unhappy, a bit disgruntled. I get a sense that maybe you didn't quite prepare yourself for the change that you were looking for, that you want to have. You were not fully prepared for it. You were not it's either you didn't do enough research, etc. I just get a sense of overexcitement. Okay, so this is not a good or bad thing, it's just what it is. Okay, strangely speaking, I want to open the 7th house, even though there's nothing about the 7th house here. I just get a sense that I want to open the 7th house, mainly because I want to see what's here. So the 7th house is about partnership, it's about open enemies, it's about it's about other people. What it really is, it really varies in context. So I'm going to open and just try to read it first before I understand how it fits into the whole picture. The Devil. See, this is the reason why I want to open this card. You know, I just get a sense that, okay, there's something about this that I need to open, and you see, I'm right, you know, it's about the Devil. So the 7th house is also about contract, right? It's also about contract, it's also about the other person, okay? With the Devil in the 7th house, I get a sense that there's a lot of blaming that you have on the other person, on what is external from you. I'm not very clear what this change is for you, or what it could be, but with the Devil here, I get a sense that there's a lot of blaming the Devil. There's a lot of like, okay, you made me want to pursue this, you made me sacrifice myself and be in this position, you made me like having to be independent on my own. You know, the Devil always has this like underhanded deal kind of thing, right? The Devil is famous for underhanded deal, right? Deals which people are like, you know, they frown upon, deals which has like a huge cause, you know, usually in terms of in a lot of like in the Christian literature, the idea of the Devil is that there is a Faustian deal, that, you know, they're gonna, then, you know, what you get from the Devil might be great, but the cost is also like crazy, you know, usually at the cost of a soul, right? So interestingly, when I see this card and this card comes as a pair, Because this is the first house, this is the seventh house, this is you, this is the other person, or the thing that is facing you as a character, as a person. I get a sense that you are choosing to be independent because the cost for taking up the devil's view, whatever that means for you, metaphorically speaking, is too great. It's sort of like because of this devil, I have to be independent. Because I don't want to be under the sway and influence of the devil, because he has too much power over me. So this whole spread with this card over here, it really changes the whole dynamic. It feels like there is something external. It gives me more context that there's something external outside of you that is sort of inducing you to go towards this change, or it is inducing you to feel helpless, right? I get a sense that it's possible that you feel like the devil is thumbing you down, okay? And interestingly, with devil in the 7th house, sometimes it could be like a contract that may not be great, may not be that great. In fact, that like in signing the contract, it feels like you are bonded to it, like for like the rest of your life, kind of thing. So it feels like you have no choice. You feel helpless. You feel like you have to sacrifice yourself to something to it. I get a sense that generally with all these cards over here, I get a sense that this idealization really, really stands out for me. It feels like there's the idealization that you have. You're overly optimistic about certain things, and now you're in a position where you feel like you don't really have any control, any power. You feel like you are a victim. So this seems to be what's going to happen for you in the next 6 months. So right now, I'm going to pick a card to understand what is the underlying influence for this change, okay? And a card for what is it that you are learning. So underlying influence first is the underlying influence, and why the change is happening, and the lesson that you're meant to learn. Here we go. Okay, let's open and see. 3 of Swords reverse. Lesson you're meant to be learning. Ace of Cups. So I think the underlying influence is this sense of suffering that you have. Okay, you got the reverse 3 of Swords. So I get a sense that there might be a lot of hurt within you. There's a little bit of that feeling sorry for yourself. I don't mean that in like a negative kind of thing. There might be previous hurt and trauma that you haven't sort of like dealt with. You see, the thing about change is that a lot of how we deal with change comes from how we deal with crisis when we were much younger. When we're in the past. I get a sense that for you as a person, whenever you deal with change and crisis, it's always negative, it's always difficult, it's always painful. And now that you're an adult, now that you're much older, you have a little bit more control of your surrounding in your life. The sense of helplessness that you had, that sense of trauma and hurt that you had when you're dealing with crisis in your younger days, okay, it persists. Okay, so it's not a good or bad thing. I just want you to look at the lens that you are bringing into this major change, which is that change is difficult, change is always suffering. I don't really want to change. Oh man, it sucks. And that's the reason why it's dragging you down. Okay, but why is this change all happening? What are you meant to learn? My God, you got the Ace of Cups. You look at how the Knight of Cups, right, is going for a cup, right? And you got the Ace of Cups. Okay, what this means for me is that you are meant to learn to master that ultimate sense of fulfillment. You are meant to go towards that holy grail, essentially. This is why the change is happening. The change is happening because you want that holy grail. You really want the Holy Grail, because the Holy Grail really just cleanses you, really just makes you joyful and delightful. Okay, so go for the Holy Grail. Okay, don't resist against that change. Allow yourself to go for the Holy Grail and allow yourself to embrace that change that comes. So now I'm gonna pick 2 Oracle cards as guidance card, okay, just to see how you can mediate and navigate in this change, okay? Okay, I've decided to pick 2 cards for you because it feels like there are 2 cards, so I'm just gonna open them. Oops. You got charity, prayer and contemplation. Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. Okay, and you got the Freya card. Oh, I love this. And I tell you why I love this, because you know, I was talking about Odin just now, isn't I? Didn't I? You know, I talk about Odin, the hangman and the Odin, you know, the myth of the Norse, the king of gods in the Norse mythology. Freya is sort of like the queen. So Odin and Freya, they're sort of related. Okay, it says there is a beginning within every ending. Illusions are revealed and released. Great. You want to open the last card? Grand Trine, blessings. Ah, this is so lovely. Okay. Cool. The first thing when I see this card is that, you know, this card is about, you know, just prayer. Okay. I mean, definitely when I see the number of cards that you have, especially when I see the reverse hangman, there'll be lots of odds, you know, there'll be a lot of difficulty against you, lots of odds are against you. Rather than feeling helpless, how about trusting in the divine and just pray? Connect to them, connect to the spiritual realm, connect to your faith. I get a sense that you believe in something. Okay, connect to what you believe in, whoever that is, whatever that may be, and just allow yourself to receive what they have to give you. Okay, they are gonna help you. They will help you. Without a doubt, they are gonna help you. So for the Freya card, you know, it's about phases and cycles. It's about endings, you know, things are ending, you know, things are ending, illusions are being released. Okay, the devil is an illusion. Okay, the devil is an illusion. Whatever is it that you fear, whatever is it that you feel like really painful about, it's all an illusion. I mean, I recognize and understand that it doesn't take away your experience of the pain that it may cause or the difficulty that it may be inflicting upon you. Okay, but know that, you know, the sense that it is horrible and bad, okay, is really a matter of judgment and perspective. Okay, I would like to read what the guidebook says about Freya. You know, it says that when one door closes, another opens. You may have been desperate for change, but now that it's here, you could feel vulnerable. Okay, know that the mighty goddess Freya will guide you. Illusions are now being revealed. You can leave everything behind that is false. Step into your warrior-like energy and welcome the change you deserve. Tie up all the loose ends and take heart. This is an exciting time. Okay, so yeah, I think it really anchors what I've been talking about. You know, which is that, you know, you may want this change for a long time. You may desire the Holy Grail for a long time, but now that it's here, you really feel like, you know, I feel so dependent. Like I don't want to be independent. I don't want things to change. I feel like I'm surrendered. I feel like I'm a victim. You know, just close it up. Just tie up the loose end. You know, if it is the devil that you are fighting against, if it's some kind of demonic, it's some kind of shitty contract that you have to fulfill, some kind of bond that you have to fulfill, this card definitely suggests that, you know, like, you know, this can come to an end. You just have to kill it. Okay? Kill it, leave it, move on. Okay? So the Grand Trine generally talks about flow. Okay? So rather than resisting it, flow. Allow yourself to flow and accept the blessing that this change has to bring you. Okay? okay? Rather than feeling like, you know, you're a victim to it, you can't do anything about it, you know, allow yourself to flow and accepts the blessing that comes with it, you know. I get a sense that many of you may be trying to leave a job or leave a contract, or I get a sense that many of you may be feeling like you want to do something, and then now that you've done it, you feel like you know, things are not moving as smoothly as you want them to. You know, this card definitely just says flow, okay? Connect with heaven, ask and you shall receive. Remember that, okay? And allow the flow to happen. And because you picked the Grand Trine, I'm going to open the 4th card, okay? Because we have house number 12 and house number 8. I think the next card I want to open is 4, just to see what completes this Grand Trine, okay? I got a feeling that this might be a pivotal card. Let's just see. There you have it. And once again, my intuition did not fail me. This is a pivotal card. Justice. I think what can guide you, what can sort of support you to move more smoothly into this transformation and change, okay, is something that's always been with you. This is the 4th house that we're talking about, so it is something that's always been with you. It is something that is sort of like your upbringing, sort of, you know, kind of thing. I think what this card is about is basically to, you know, go back to yourself, go back to your own sense of centeredness, okay, and deal with the situation accordingly. Go back to your centeredness, go back to your centered self, center and ground yourself and look at the situations in a very rational manner, you know, without feeling like, you know, you're a victim, without feeling like you have no choice, but simply to just go back into your centeredness and to just logically and just rationally look at the whole situation and act accordingly. Justice talks about the right action. Justice talks about understanding what you need to cut, what you need to probe, what you need to move forward into. Okay, so justice, just be fair to yourself, you know, rather than feeling like you're a victim, be fair to yourself and allow yourself to look at the situation, you know, with that measuredness that you have always had anyway. It's part of your upbringing, it's part of you. Thank you everyone who picked the Rose Quartz pile. This is your pick a card reading. I hope this really works for you. It flows quite smoothly for me and I really love that. Please do like the video if it works for you. Subscribe to my channel. You know, share this video with all your friends if you want to. And you know, I will see you in the next video. Bye!